riding the wave of your love and chanting with your touch and seems to me we could sail together, feeling out of misery. Well, I wanna be living for the love. Well, all that I'm giving is for the love of you. Well, paradise I have within can't feel insecure with the key. Well, yes I see, oh yes I see. Now and then I lose my way, using words that try to say what I feel. Well, love is real, oh love is real. Might as well sign my name on a card that would make it better. Time will tell, 'cause it seems like I've done all about all that I can do.
I'll start something. Huh? I'll start something. Ready? All right. Good walk in. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, we're expecting a call from you at 2929 okay, in about 3 minutes. Sorry about that, gentlemen.
For the next 90 minutes, join Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM, presented to you by Colonial Group International, Windows Group of Companies, Game Time, and Energized Wellness Solutions. Let's now go live in studio with host Ian Lawrence and co-host Earl Ainsley.
And good afternoon and welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday afternoon, September 25th. I'm Ian Rollins, my co-host Earl Basin. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rollins. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. All is good?
All is well.
Good. A lot of sports happening this weekend. NFL, local football, local events of all sorts of sports that's happening. And of course, going back to North American sports, as you know, Major League Baseball season is the last week of it. The playoffs start the following week, so it's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen on that side. But before we go any further, we're going to have some guests in the studio. Mr. Mark Simons, the president of the Bermuda Bodybuilding Association, will be calling us via phone because his schedule is very tight today. He's going to give us an update on the CAC Bodybuilding Championships. That event has been postponed. Obviously, the event was supposed to be held in Mexico, but due to the earthquake, and then, of course, down in the Caribbean, the competitors from various Caribbean countries, they have to obviously withdraw because of the hurricanes and weather conditions down there. So My understanding is that the CAC convention will be canceled, and he's going to give us an update of what's going to happen in Bermuda. There's been word that they could possibly compete in Toronto, Canada, for some competition in 4 weeks' time. So that's not confirmed from me, but he will give us more information once he gets called. That. And then you got some guests coming in the studio as well.
Yeah, the president and vice president of the Bermuda Lawn Tennis Association. In the next few weeks, we'll be having the ITU Junior tournament. It's usually held in June or July, but due to the America's Cup, they had to push their date back because of availability or planned availability of hotels, and the skyrocketing of prices throughout the island. But there are events coming up in a few weeks' time, so we're going to get an update on just who is coming, and also, just to talk about the sport of tennis, because if anyone would have looked at some of the people that were playing in the U.S. Open this year, they actually played in Bermuda years ago, starting out their careers as junior players. So we're just part of a stepping stone to springboard into the world of professionalism. One thing, Ian, yesterday would have surprised a lot of people who would have made their way down to Oboy's Point, because Flora Duffy took part in the triathlon yesterday, the Tokyo triathlon yesterday, done the swimming for Ashley Estwanick and Martina Olszewski-Bell. They were a team called Tokyo 2020. So just to see her on island, took out the swim and took out the competition, basically gave her team a platform that they won the team event, all-female team, were the first group across the line. But just to see how she was given the reception that she was given, everyone wanted to get a picture with Florida.
It's nice. It's nice.
Just have a conversation of sorts. But overall, for her, it was a good feeling to be amongst family and friends. But I know you have your first guest, so let's introduce.
Sure, not a problem. But again, congratulations to Flora Duffy for putting her back on the map, and she's done extremely well the last 2 years, and I wish her all the best going forward. Yes, on the phone with us right now is the president of the Bermuda Bodybuilding Federation, Mr. Mark Simons. Good afternoon to you, sir. We are doing well. We just did a brief synopsis on our guest, and we said that you'd give us a call. You got some news to share with us regarding the CAC bodybuilding championships for the Caribbean, actually, championships happening that has been canceled for this year, but I think for the first time ever.
I cannot say it's the first time ever. Okay. First time I'm aware of it ever being canceled. And most people would be aware of the tragic events that have hit Mexico City 3 times in a very short period. Most recently this past Friday, which was the date that the CAC organizing committee confirmed that the event will be canceled.
With that said, then, what does this do for Bermuda and for the competition itself? I've been told that there's a possibility that the competition may be held in Toronto, Canada, in like 4 or 5 weeks' time.
No. All right. So, as you know, since we last spoke and since the Night of Champions, which was August 19th, the team that was selected to participate in the CAC Games have been training very hard, diet and training, pose and practice, all the rest of it. So we don't want that to go to waste. These men and women have put a lot of time in. So what we're seeking to do is to find another event that they can participate in that's in the near future. So this month's pretty much out, but hopefully in October.
Okay, I mean that's great. That's great because then their effort doesn't go to waste, and then of course effort for you guys putting the event on August 19th doesn't go to waste, and of course a lot of hard work and dedication, and as you mentioned, the diet and training does take a lot of time off, and people who don't understand it may not understand it. If you get into the sport, you'll definitely understand it. So kudos to your committee and your organization for hopefully finding an event within the near future for the competitors who won and who qualified for the CAC, they can take that event and go to the next stage. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you know of any events that may be coming up in the near future for Bermuda?
Yes, well, there's one, I guess, this week, which we won't be able to do in Czechoslovakia, so scratch that off your list.
Yeah, for sure.
There is one that we're focusing on, which is in Toronto, Canada. It's called the Bermuda Legacy Cup. We have some things we need to do to ensure that these guys would be able to participate, but that's certainly one that we're looking at. And then there are several others in Europe, France, and Spain that we're also looking at. And we just want to make sure that we give these guys an opportunity to showcase their talents.
If all else fails, first of all, good afternoon, sir. If all else fails, could you possibly host something here for them just to give them the sense of satisfaction for working as hard as they have to prepare?
I wish I could say yes, but so other than the athletes putting the time in and dedication to do what they do, obviously the federation has incurred travel expenses for them, which we need to circumvent or to take them somewhere else. So as you know, when you book an airline ticket these days, it's not refundable. It's valid for 12 months. So we need to make use of those funds or that expense allocation, so to speak. The CAC event is very large, so there are several hundred athletes that come from all of the Caribbean and Central American countries. So we're talking 300, maybe 500 participants. So putting that show on somewhere else, that's almost a non-starter because you need a venue, then you need accommodation, etc., etc. But essentially regurgitating the Night of Champions just for the 13 people that were selected to go to CACI, don't see how that would benefit them. That's why we want to take them overseas where they can compete against people from other countries that would give them some true competition, and hopefully some of them will be successful in attaining their dream of getting a pro card.
That's good, and that's understandable here. What was the feedback from the 13 competitors once they knew the event was canceled, knowing that this was, Mother Nature taking control of this? What was their feedback like?
Oh, I mean, no one was comfortable with going to Mexico City after not one but two fairly significant earthquakes. And we communicated with the CAC committee, letting them know that we were uncomfortable, and we were looking for insight from them to more or less ensure us that the infrastructure was safe and secure, and obviously that wasn't something that they could do. So almost right after they sent the letter, canceling the event, there was a subsequent aftershock last Friday that was, 6 point whatever on the Richter scale. So, that was an earthquake in and of itself. So I'm sure now nobody is questioning the decisions that were made. They were very wise decisions. Because I don't think anybody wants to put themselves and let alone other people in harm's way, over a competition of this nature.
For sure. Also, you look at the bright side, with this event being canceled, there's a possibility that you guys may be able to enter in the event. I think it's Bermuda, I can't remember the first name you said, Bermuda in Toronto, and maybe open up a new avenue for the local contestants going forward, that this may be another sort of competition aside from the annual CAC.
Potentially. Like I said, we have multiple options, and we just want to ensure that they're going to get the best out of it. So there's a lot of intricacies that revolve around these bodybuilding competitions. Not every competition makes an athlete eligible to get a pro card. The CAC certainly done that, and what we don't want to do is take our competitors to a competition that is not going to benefit them in the long run. So that's what we're really grappling with, is to ensure that we give them the opportunity to try to, reach their dreams.
Okay, that's good. Okay, again, thank you very much, Mr. Simons. I know you have a busy schedule ahead of yourself. When would you let us know, or let the public know, regarding a decision has been made as to what competition you choose, either it's France or Europe or Canada?
We will know within the next few days, so it will be imminent. We've written to the shows in question just to ensure that the Bermudian athletes will be eligible to compete. And once we get final confirmation of that, then I'll make you aware of it. It will be soon.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and best luck with that. Unfortunately, we all understand why. It's a good decision made. It's a no-brainer, to be honest. But we wish you all the best going forward, and look forward for the decision that you guys make for the 13 athletes who have qualified for Bermuda this year.
Word, I appreciate you inviting me to come and talk. The one thing I should mention is that the Federation obviously is very sensitive to everything that's transpired recently with these natural disasters, and our thoughts and hearts are with all of the countries that have been impacted, and a large part of the CAC's decision revolved around some of the other countries that were impacted by the hurricane. So the earthquake, although that hit the actual venue or the location where the event was going to take place, but certain other countries like Puerto Rico and there's other Caribbean islands that got hit with not one but two hurricanes, they wouldn't have been able to come anyway. So the competition, the quality of it would have been compromised because several hundred athletes would not have been there, because Puerto Rico normally takes a large team.
Right, so that means that it impacted everyone, basically, in this competition for 2018. Yeah, wow. So, again, that was, beyond our control. That was all Mother Nature and things like that. So the good thing is that the decision has been made, and, you counter the event this year, and hopefully we learn from this and look at the bright side that there's new competition possibly for the team to compete later in another month or 2 months. Yeah. Okay, Mr. President, Mr. Mark Simons, thank you for your time. I know you got a busy schedule, so thank you for explaining it to us and keeping us up to date on what's going to happen with the community contingent. And again, we wish you all the best going forward, and let us know when the decision is made. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio has been presented to you by and Energize Roller Solutions. We'll return after the break.
That's all right, cool?
Yeah, man. That's perfect.
All right.
That's perfect. Well, heroes. What's happening, man? You all right? Good, man. How you doing? So, Mr. Rollins. How you doing? Thank you very much. Yes. Mr. Wolf.
How you doing, sir?
Just like this,
Have a seat. Get you all in there. Lens.
No. You're on TV. What are we doing?
What time is it? It's game time. More opportunities.
Come on.
Oh, you
Yeah.
located next to Long Beach in St. George, and Main Road Somerset by Somerset Cricket Club. All game time outlets open Monday to Friday 12 to 6, Saturdays 8:30 till 5, and Sundays 10 to 5. For more details, visit GameTime.pm or call 296-333. Game Time. We play, we pay. Game Time is a socially responsible gaming establishment.
Our lives are busy,
More complicated.
so you need a health plan that's easy to use, like Premier Health.
Registered local providers who check their cover and file claims online.
Enrollment is online too.
70% of claims are made at home.
With Colonial, it can be less complicated,
Less paperwork.
and your provider's bill can be paid quicker.
96% of claims are settled in 5 days.
Colonial, where people travel first.
Call 296-3200.
CGIGroup.com.
The 21st edition of the FIFA World Cup will be aired live on Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Be a part of the history. You don't want to miss FIFA World Cup 2018.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bayston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, September 25th. Joining us in studio now is the president of the Bermuda Lawn Tennis Association, Mr. Michael Wolf, and the vice president, am I correct? Vice president, Mr. Ricky Mallory. Now, gentlemen, we're on the countdown of the ITU Junior Tournament scheduled for next month.
That's correct. Good afternoon. That's correct.
Yeah. Things are shaping up. I mentioned in our lead up into today's show the fact that anyone that watched the U.S. Open would have recognized a few names, those that have been around tennis, to see some of those who have graced the WER Joe Tennis Stadium out there in the middle. But this tournament sets us up for our youngsters to see just where they're at amongst their peers, because eventually they go abroad. They play Junior Davis Cup, they play the Kotak tournaments and so forth. But how are things shaping up for next month?
It's a busy time for us. So we're in full steam mode right now. We're in the preparations for the tournament in terms of getting the stadium ready, getting coaches and getting officials ready for the event. Our sponsors are all coming on board, so we're quite happy with that there. So it's a good time for tennis in Bermuda. There's a lot of excitement around this tournament, and a lot of our juniors who have been participating are looking forward to it, and their training regimes have been heightened just to meet the demands of this tournament.
Now, usually this tournament is early in the year, but now we're messing with the change of weather, the change of... Have you adjusted the schedule any way or shape or form to ensure that we can get a full tournament in? Because I don't want to say a full week, because usually it's a full week.
Yeah, it's usually in June, but we moved it because of the America's Cup event. And we're still banking on some good weather in early October. So the schedule is going to remain the same. We're playing usually from 10 a.m. to about 5 p.m. during the day. If necessary, we will go into evenings, but we're hoping for some good weather, and we anticipate getting the tournament completed within the week.
Director Ricky, our youngsters seem to be going from strength to strength with the availability of playing more regularly in school and in international competition. How do you see that transforming to the ones that are here that are not yet got that opportunity? Do you try to instill that there's opportunities out there for them?
Well, we put different programs in place. For example, we have the developmental program, which is every Wednesday. We have some of the top coaches on the island that prepares the youngsters for the up-and-coming events like 18s. That developmental program is for 12 and up. So we're starting from a young age. And they get a feel from, like I said, the top coaches on the island. And then they'll learn from these coaches and they progress. When they get older, they progress to playing in the ITF.
Right. So the direction in which you guys are looking to do is to help advance from a young age.
Correct.
Yeah. So give this tournament that's coming up. There's the youngest is under 12, is it?
Yeah, there's the under 12 division, and the under 12s, like Rick said, is a big focus of ours because we're looking for that next wave of players coming through. So it's an under 12, and there's going to be an under 18 division, and that's where the more senior players get to show their wares.
Right. Now, who are some of the players from Bermuda that we can expect to see on show, give or take, coming out on top of the division? Pressure, a little bit of pressure.
So in the boys 18s, we have 4 Bermuda players that have entered. It's Tariq Simons, Ross McCall's son.
So, yeah.
We have Scott Levy. We have David Vita.
Yeah.
And his son, Trey Mallett.
Okay.
In the girls, we have 1 female, Shelby Medeiros.
Okay.
And then, like Mike said, we have the 12 and under, which is most of all.
Now, the 12 and under, last year you guys done something a little different because they played on the clay. Will that be the same again this year?
Yes.
Okay. What are the numbers like for the under 18s, both male and female?
Right now, we have over 90 boys entered. For the boys 18s, we have approximately just over 40 females. It's near 32 draws.
I was just going to say, it's going to be a full day of the. Well, so what are you having? 2 days of qualifying,
So
or?
yeah, so we have a 32 draw main draw and a 32 draw qualifying.
Yeah. And the qualifying starts on October 14th.
Right.
So they'll run on the Friday there's a registration, and they'll qualify, and then on the Sunday, and the main draw starts on October the 16th, and runs through to the 21st. The under 12s will join into the tournament midweek, so around about the Wednesday, they'll play the next 3 days.
Okay. So the 5 courts down at the WEI Tennis Stadium will be worn out by
a lot of action, a lot of good tennis, and certainly I invite the tennis public and public in general to come out and watch. Last year we had some good tennis down there, some high quality tennis, and like you said, there's players in the past who come to this tournament that you now see playing on the big tournaments like the US Open.
We had Darian King today.
Yes. Yeah.
I just want to add to it. We have over 25 different nations participating in this tournament.
Oh, okay. Can we now let's talk about the ones that from Bermuda that will be participating, because a lot of people don't get to see Tariq. He's in Jamaica playing tennis, represented Bermuda at the Junior Davis Cup. Obviously, your son is abroad in school. Just recently done several countries down the Caribbean in tournaments. How is their development going? Because now it's getting crunch time for them because they're getting up in age now. Although years going by, they played the under 18s, but they were 15s and 16s.
Right.
Yeah.
But Trey is the youngest out of the group. He's still 15 here. I think David is the oldest. He's 18 now. Tariq and Scott are still 16, so they're still basically young in that 18 numbers. I expect now Trey, Scott, and Tariq to actually win a few rounds in this regional event. That's how many go win a couple of rounds.
Right. Are they in the how do you guys pick the qualifiers, and how do you pick who goes through to the main draw?
What usually happens is whatever country is hosting the event, they mainly push their players to play in the main draw. For example, so Bermuda will have 4 wild cards in the main draw. There's 4 wild cards. We'll go to Bermuda players.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that they're in.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So the others who fly in will have to battle it out to see.
Yes.
Okay. All right. When will the schedule be pushed out? I know it's difficult for the main draw, but for the qualifiers.
Well, you have a check-in Friday night before the Saturday. So once they check in, that draw will come on Friday night for qualifying.
Oh, okay.
And once the qualifying is finished, then they'll do the main draw on that Sunday.
Right. And you have ITF officials coming in as well?
Yes, there's 2 ITF officials coming down, and they oversee the actual running of the tournament. Because as most people, or some people may not know, these tournaments are worth points in the ITF ranking system. So it's a big deal to these kids, and they want the tournament run correctly and make sure everyone's allotted their amount of points.
Now, we were just talking to Mark Simons, the Bermuda Bodybuilding Federation president, about the devastation in the Caribbean. Has any of those players indicated that they are still coming, the ones that might have been affected in the countries that were affected?
I actually have 2 boys from the U.S. Virgin Islands that we staying at my house.
Oh, okay.
One of them had a lot of damage to his house. The other guy not so much. And there's another kid from St. Martin that the little country is practically back.
Right.
He will be able to come.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just ask Bermuda to come out and support these guys, because what they've been through and what their family have been through to come to Bermuda and play tennis, it's a good thing because they take the mind off of the struggles and the troubles back in the country for just a short period of time. So
absolutely,
it's an opportunity for us to show them some support.
Absolutely. And like I said, the first weekend is going to be a lot of tennis because, as Rick mentioned, you've got 90-some boys trying to get into 32 spots. So it's a lot of tennis games that weekend. Very competitive. These kids are going to play multiple matches that weekend. So great time for the public to come out and support tennis in general.
So, as president, what's it been like under your tenure?
It's been an interesting time. You take on a position and you
I guess, have a vision of what it's going to be like. And then I think when you get into the role, there's always nuances that you didn't account for and things that you have to make adjustments to. But it's been rewarding. I think we've had a strong administrative team that we put together. We've accomplished a lot of the goals that we set out to do from the very first time we took office. Having been elected just to our second term, we now have a list of things we want to do in the second term. But it's been rewarding. It's been challenging. But again, looking forward to the next 2 years of running this role.
Right. This big event that's going to be taking place in October is huge, and it's huge when you guys show us you put this together. It's a lot of planning. Once this event is over, what's in tap after that?
Well, once this event is over, this is the showcase event for Bermuda.
Correct.
Once this event is over, then we focus a lot more on the local tennis side. So we've got a couple of junior tournaments coming up after that here. There's one being put on by the Bermuda Bay Tennis Club. I think Tucker's Point is hosting one, and the BLT is going to put on one. Then we also start looking at some of our adult programs because we have junior players, and they are one of our areas of focus, but we have the adults as well. So we've got the Winter League coming up, which all the clubs participate in. And then we'll also be having the end of the year Christmas Classic. And it's like a challenge event. That event Rick actually puts on and runs, and it's an event whereby you get to see all the players who are overseas in academies and things like that. We bring them for Christmas. We can see them playing, see what the level is, because now we're also starting to look at next year's international representation. And those are the players that we'll be looking at for those events.
We obviously have 2017 might go very well. Where do you see your sport, tennis, either one advance this, where it's going in the next 3 to 5 years from now?
In my view, I think really it's with the under 12. We see a lot of kids participating in that. We have to keep them in that and show them the opportunities that they have in the sport. So that's a big focus for us, and that's one of the areas we see a quick growth program. Beyond that, we'd like to actually see some more international activity here. So the BLT is going to focus on that in 2018 as well, getting some international activity. And by that I mean an international tournament of some flavor here. So there are some plans on the way, and it's kind of early to divulge that, but things are in the works.
And that's good because it's no secret that Bermuda sports across the board always go to international competition. So you're no different. What we do is it raises the bar for our local competition to see where our athletes are from 12 to going forward. And then it gives you guys a standard of what you need to do in your program.
Absolutely.
Right. So you guys do a good job. I mean, what I'm hearing and talking to people that you guys are extended, an excellent job. You know, I'm saying you do good work, and hopefully we can take our athletes in tennis to the next level.
Thank you. Well, recently we saw Tyler Smith, who is ranked number 1 in the region, play in the one tournament they have just when school goes back. Unfortunately, she couldn't win the singles, but she won the doubles. But looking at her development over the years, Ricky, I know you've been one that's had an eye on Tyler for quite some time. Where do you see the next Tyler? Especially on the female side.
Where do I see the next Tyler?
Yeah.
Like Mike said, it's going to come from this 12 and on the group. What's helped out too also is we have a children in schools program, and we have a coach, or I should say coaches, that actually go into the schools, into primary school, and go into PE classes and introduce tennis to the kids.
Okay.
Right? Just to get an interest, just for kids to be interested in tennis. And then from that, we also have a grassroots program down at Tennis Day.
Okay.
It's sponsored by Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hitchcock and Chuck. So from these various programs, obviously at some point we will have the next opportunity.
But let's talk a little bit about her and the way she's performed over the years. There's been a lot of pressure on a young lady because when she was 13, started winning tournaments, and was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
She becomes number 1 at 15, and now she's away in school. Very few times did we get a chance to see her play here, but just analyze her career and her development over the years.
And I must say, if you keep saying the next Tyler Smith not.
I know that. I know. That I know.
Our next step is to WTA,
and she
already
started playing that. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So she's it's a continuation for her.
Right.
She's continuing.
Yeah. Well, analyze what you've seen over the years from her through her development to this stage in her career.
I remember her when she first stepped out in the court. She's always had the talent, the ability. I think the difference now is that because she's older, she thinks more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest thing for her. She's thinking more. She's thinking a lot better.
Yeah. She's mastered that doubles too.
Say it again.
She's mastered that doubles.
Oh yeah. Doubles is another beast.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. Well, she always seems to find a taller person to be with, and
Smart. Smart. She's thinking more.
Well, yes.
Smart lady.
Well, gentlemen, I know you have pressing issues other to get to, but we wanted to thank you for your time here. Looking forward to more progress in the ITF Junior Tennis Tournament that will take place at the W.E.R. Joe Tennis Stadium, beginning on, the qualifiers get underway on the 17th? 14th of October. Okay. That's the tournament.
Goes on the
16th, and then running to the 21st. Okay. So, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with Inside Sports Talk Radio after these commercials.
Inside Sports Talk Radio has been presented to you by.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
How are you? Appreciate it.
So
it gets underway the 14th of October.
14th of October, yep.
21st.
And 21st, and the under 12s will be kicking on Wednesday, which is about the 23rd.
So the 16th, you guys got qualifiers going on at the stadium. Was the 16th?
Yes, that'll be the last day of the qualifiers.
So why we do this here?
Sorry, no. 16th is the main draw. 16th is the main draw.
14 and 15.
14, 15 qualifiers.
And the draw on the 16th.
Main draw on the 16th.
So why we do a telephone interview with you guys when you down in the stadium? You can just do an update what's happening.
Sure. Sounds good.
Earl's got your numbers, right?
Oh, yeah. So,
Good touch base.
all right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Take care, right?
Man. Have a good one,
Thank you, sir.
man. All right. Cool, man.
Appreciate it.
Hey,
Bob.
Yes. No worries.
System puts things right.
Ask for a home insurance quote.
Call Colonial on 296-3700 or visit cgid.com.
Offer applies to new home insurance policies and calling all players. What time is it? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more.
Yeah, buddy.
Instant win games. Be a lucky loser with our weekly draw. Become a game time player. Call into one of our 3 locations in Sunset, Town,
Be right back.
For more details, visit gametime.pm or call 296-3222. Game Time. You play, we pay. Game Time is a socially responsible gaming establishment.
The 21st edition of the FIFA World Cup will be aired live on Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Be a part of the history. You don't want to miss FIFA World Cup 2018.
It's raining AccuWeather, the world's weather leader. Forecast
Okay, well, thanks, all right?
Roberts, that's the great best.
I don't know about that.
That's the first time I've seen you. All my life.
You serious?
First time I've ever seen you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm normal guy. Hey.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Mr. Bass. Mr. Bass.
You know what?
When you're around people for so long, it's natural. It's just natural. I can't remember the last one. It's been a while.
I don't think it's happened.
One more from
Yeah, that's good.
I told you it's getting canceled. I told you it's getting canceled.
Oh, you owe that chick? No, you know I did that purpose.
I know.
Thank you.
All right, stand by.
Hey.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with hosts Ian Rose and co-host Earl Beast.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Earl, the guest just had in the studio, tennis Michael Wolf, the president, and Ricky Mallory, development officer. They got a good program going on.
Oh yeah, they do. They do. They really have put some time in, picking up where the last administration left off, and just taking it to the next step. And obviously, when you have new people coming into office with fresh ideas, it's just picking up and following through what others before them have done and then making small improvements. And the tennis community has responded to it. So, looking for bigger and better things down the road.
Right. So our future looks well in tennis, and again, congratulations to Ricky and Michael Wu, Ricky Mulligan and Mike Wu putting on a stellar performance on the administration side, and wish them all the best for next month. Joining us in the studio right now is Mr. Clifford Roberts, Sergeant of Bermuda Police Service. As you know, Jim Connor Week is this coming Saturday. When I was growing up as a young man, it was a big thing. I remember when it being some said guys should pop wheelies around the whole field. I don't know if it still happens today.
It's part of the drill for Saturday.
All right, so we're going to take a look at that. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rollins, Mr. Bates, and Mr. Bassett.
How are you?
All is good,
sir. How are you?
All is well. All is well.
Explain to us about the Jim Connor 2017. I know you guys just brought it back into the fold maybe 3-4 years ago, or a little longer.
Actually, it's been longer than that. It's been much longer than that. I've been the chairperson of this committee since 2007.
Okay, so last 10 years.
Yes.
So last 10 years.
Yeah, that was a trivia question from the police organization
Really?
last week.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it wrong.
Yeah, as you know, this year, strange enough, our police week kicks off this Saturday, which is the last Saturday in September. Normally we start in October. It's the first Saturday in October. But this year it is Saturday, September 30th. Police week commences. And we have a slew of events going on. Let me just run through the events. I know you want to talk about the Jim Connor. I just have to plug it in. Police week starts Saturday, the 30th of September. Jim Connor at Police Field. On Sunday, we have the Memorial Church service, which is at the Police Cemetery in Prospect, Devonshire. That begins at 5:30. That's to commemorate our fallen soldiers. On Monday, the 2nd of October, at 6 p.m. at the Bruce James Center for the Performing Arts at City Bridge. We have the Vision Awards. That's where we recognize our young people. Tuesday, I think it's a day that you guys should come out just to see it and witness it.
I thought you was going to say because my own.
No, it has nothing to do with your maturity. But that's the day we recognize our seniors.
Yes.
And that is it's a fabulous day spending time with their seniors because they say a lot of things off the wall and they have a great time with the people that put on the event for them.
Right.
And that's at the Fairmont Hamilton Princess on Wednesday, the 4th of October at 10 a.m. at the Police Recreation Field. We have the police display where our K9, or emergency response units, and the police support unit, they do a demonstration for our young people as well. On the Thursday, which is the 5th at 9 a.m., we have our fun day where we give back to the officers who are actually out there every day, all day, keeping us safe. So we have a fun day where they participate in numerous sports, a run, cycle race. And Mr. Biz can speak to that. We're seeing them coming at the finish line, faces, mashed up.
You guys are cruel because you finish on the heel. That's all right.
I thought you were talking about Mr. Bates participating.
Oh, I do participate.
In my
way.
I'm not going to say how I participate, but I help in here.
Thank you very kindly. Thank you very kindly, Mr. Roberts.
I can only imagine. That's all I'm going to say. I can only imagine, Mr. Bates.
I do my part.
That's right, sure. And on Friday, the 6th of October at 6 p.m., we have a community partner night and an art auction. Again, that's where we recognize some of our community partners as well. And we have the auction night. Just come up at the police club and just enjoy the evening. And the finale is on this Saturday, the 7th of October at 6 p.m. We have a police ball at the Fairmont Hamilton Princess. So that's the slew of events for the week. And getting back to the Jim Connor, it's the Kids Day. That's a day where we put on for all the kids. It's a free admission event. Free food for the kids. All they have to do is come to Police Field at 10 a.m. with a working cycle and a helmet because we try to encourage safe cycling. Of course. And come up and participate in the cycling events put on that my support team. I have a great support team that's been with me from 2007. Sergeant Glasswood, Sergeant Rock, Sergeant Thomas, Officer Terry Painter. Everybody knows Terry Painter. It's a slew of officers that come out for that day, and we spend all day giving back to the kids and making sure that they leave that day that field with a smile on their face.
That's important. And that is very important. It shows how dedicated you guys are. You're a police service to giving something back to the community, and more important, just to the young people. But not just to young people, to everyone.
Yes,
To
yes.
everyone. You know, it shouldn't be pointed just to young people. You guys are giving back to the community all week, and that's good because your work goes unnoticed at times. You guys get a lot of hours, and people just don't recognize the effort that you put forward because it takes a lot of dedication to get themselves.
It does. And for us, one of the key things with the Gymkhana is ensuring that they build that relationship with the officers that are there. Because most times we see a police officer, we see a uniform, we see handcuffs, we see all the things that make policing look bad. But when they come to police field, they see us smiling, they see us participating, and encouraging them to just do well and have fun. And sometimes we got a lot of kids up there with their parents that don't want to participate, but they're on the side and they're running around. They're just riding their bikes, having fun. And that's what it's all about, to interact with our members of the service and the organization.
I know you talk about kids, but there's always a big kids race, and that's the heads of many organizations that run Bermuda.
Many organizations.
What time is that event, and who are the stars on show, and who have you gotten a hand up for?
Well, I'm going to throw something out there. We have the illustrious Commissioner of Police.
Has he won yet? Even with the help of his... Never mind.
I guess he answered that for us.
We tell kids all the time, everybody's a winner.
Yes.
And there's always a winner.
Yes. Because he gets on.
And it's about delegation as well.
You brought it?
You see Mr. Paul Wright is out there, the Deputy Commissioner is out there doing his thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you've had Mr. Weeks. Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw a stand out there to Mr. Daniels if he's listening.
More than likely he is, or somebody would tell him.
I'm sure somebody would tell him. So I'm going to actually bring my bike for Mr. Daniels or the Commissioner to participate. But heads of state.
Yes.
You have the Commissioner of Police representative. Mm-hmm. The Chief Fire Officer. Now, again, I might get knocked on my hands for saying this, but he normally sends a representative as well. Mm-hmm. And there's a young buck that normally comes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's stacking him down.
Yeah. Mr. Lamb from Corrections. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Chief Customs Collector, Collector of Customs Officer. And the regiment normally, the colonel always comes.
Right.
But there's a new colonel, he will come.
Yes.
That's a guarantee. And His Excellency.
I was just going to say, has he put his hand up? Because last year, Jenny Pearson was involved, and she was the acting governor at the time, right? And she rode the bike, and she got in the race.
She actually gave him a go for the money.
Sure.
I don't know if it had anything to do with her position, but she gave him a go for the money.
Well, she had to talk with him just before he started the race, he said.
Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really fun day for all our kids to interact with, not just constables, sergeants. You get to see the senior command officers up there participating with members of the public and the kids, and I think the kids and the parents enjoy seeing that.
Right.
And as well as not just the police officers, but to get to see the other heads of state. I think it's important to show that we all work together.
Right.
We do our part, working together to ensure that everything is cohesive.
Right.
Cohesive net.
Right. Now there are interesting races that you guys put on. Obviously the one that Mr. Rollins was talking about earlier, Papa Wheelie, around the field. You also have ranging races and all sorts of races. So you're not really worried too much about ages, because as long as somebody has a bike and a helmet, you put them in.
Although we do have age brackets, which helps us to organize it. If we have 2 7-year-olds show up at 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock,
right.
10 o'clock, then we'll run that race. We'll run that heat. Because we want to make sure that they can participate and leave through that finish line with something.
Right.
Because everyone gets a little something at the end of each race. Everybody gets something. So, again, the races start at 10. We have the slow man race, which is the person that crosses the line last.
Yes.
Actually, it's the winner.
Right.
And then we have the, I can't remember what it's called. Le Mans race, yes. The Le Mans race,
Yeah.
where you ride around the track and
The
the
last
last person in the group
It's
gets
pulled
pulled
out.
out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is unbelievable because you see some of these young females,
Yeah.
these young ladies, and they're out in front and
Mhm.
they're horsing it around that track.
Yep. It's all
And
about getting around.
one thing I will say, Mr. Rollins, is that I don't know if you know this, but Mr. Basin has been a helpful hand to us every year. He actually comes out 2 or 3 days before the event kicks off and marks our field for us.
No, I had no idea.
He kept that to himself, but I've been thinking about it, and I said, we need to make sure that Mr. Basin gets recognized for his efforts as well, because he does a wonderful job. He's out there for hours.
Wow.
He,
Wow. Mr. Basin,
I tell you, I contribute.
keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
I try. Hey, Mr. Roberts asked me to help him out
Uh-huh.
back in 2007,
Right.
yes,
and I said, sure, no problem. What do you need? He said, well, can you mark the field? No problem. And all I get is a text every year. Can you do it? Sure, no problem.
And that's from obviously days when he's coaching football.
Yeah.
So
But I
that
mean,
helps.
it's one of those things where you give back.
Yeah.
So come this Thursday,
yeah.
we'll
You
be
don't
on.
see it.
Yeah, well, you'll see me. You'll see me.
So yeah,
You'll see
I'm
me.
just, it's just messy.
Yeah.
Trust me. It's just messy.
Might be a little tired, but it'll be done.
What's the turnout are you looking for from spectators, not spectators, but participants with young people? What sort of numbers?
in the last 7 years, we've always had an average of 250 kids.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
It's a lot of kids. I
Right.
mean, with a lot of other events going on all day, we still get at least 250 kids.
Wow. Wow. So it starts at 10, and what
It
time?
starts at 10
Time
and
you
it will
do
go on until at least 3 o'clock.
Oh,
With the gumbays, with funny castles, the racing. And again, the kids get free lunch all day.
Okay.
All those participating will get free lunch all day. But we do have vendors there. You have the ice cream truck. Donna Rentals will be there. A display from Noble Auto, which is at the Cedar Bridge. And Noble Auto, they support their young people. They have that mechanic workshop program. So they come down and they'll be bringing down displays of the old vehicles that they've refurbished.
Wow.
So
That's good.
it's all about the development and the encouragement of young kids and giving them ideas as they move forward and interaction with police officers.
For this event to be on for the last 10 years, obviously, it's no secret. It's a success. How does the Bermuda Police Service feel when they're giving something back to the community? How do you guys feel about this?
But we love it. We love it because from the beginning we go out and it's working with our partners and all these organizations and businesses that we go to for their assistance. They come back and say, "Look, we'll help you out." I mean, we have Pizza House. They provided gift certificates. DGA. I just got an email today from a young lady from DGA willing to assist us, and for them, it's giving back. For them, it's giving back. For us, it's working alongside them to show that we're here to support them and they support us. So giving back, we have Dunkless, who every year from day one they've been supporting us. John Barrett's, East End Telecom, East End Astro, Butterfield and Vellis, who supply the food boards, Marketplace, Arnold's. Another person that I would really, really, and I hope she's listening right now, Kim Manderson. She's a teacher at Bellwood. And for the last 5 years, she has brought volunteers from Bellwood School up to the field, first day, 8 o'clock, on the event day. And they have stayed all day and assisted us setting up, providing the younger kids with food, providing kids with assistance going around the track for the events. She has done a phenomenal job in soliciting, young volunteers to help us every year. Every year. And I think that speaks volumes for the school, for Bellwood.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks volumes for the connection that we have with ourselves and the police organization.
Now, we all know that the Gymkhana was one of the brainchilds of you and your committee because it had been missing for so long. Do you see it revolving back to how it was when we were younger coming along? Do you start to see that now after 10 years?
I would like to see it more so. I know this is going to be our 10th year running the event. and I'm going to put it out there to anyone, and it's not just for the kids, but to anyone. We have the cycling clubs.
Yes.
You can come up. You are more than welcome to come up and promote the vintage cycles or classic cycles.
Yes, yes.
Or you can come up if you're home this week and you got that much time to build an old go-kart, paddle cycle go-kart, not engine.
Right, yes.
And we would love to see all those type of things that used to happen in the 60s when Ray Souza actually created the Gymkhana.
Okay.
You know, Ray Souza was a police officer years ago, and he came up with his brainchild of, I see so many kids in Bermuda riding around on a paddle cycle. And remember, and if you know this, Mr. Rollins, but I'm going to educate you, and I'm sure you do. Gymkhana actually started at Bernard Park, and it was a 2-day event. 2 days. It was a 2-day event, and as some time went by, it was moved to the Somerset Cricket Club. That's right. Right. Roger Sherrod and Ray Souza were the pushers of this event way back in the 60s.
Right.
When they were police officers. So it's kudos to them, you know, for that brainchild, and it's just up to us to keep it going. And we would love for what used to happen then to really come to the forefront now and get, because it's not just about the kids participating, it's about the parents and the involvement in the kids' lives within the organization and how we all gel together to work together and keep everything safe.
Good.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday.
I'm looking forward to Thursday.
You mean next week? You mean next week Thursday?
No, it's over this Thursday.
Oh, that's
it's over the 28th.
That's only about a 3-hour job, man. That's all right.
It's all right. Well, obviously, you do a good job. So kudos to you.
Have fun doing it, man. I tell people all the time, whatever I do, I have fun doing it.
That's good.
You know, and it's good to help, you know, friends and give back.
That's true.
You know, to come out on Saturday and see the kids enjoying themselves.
That's the key right there.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, every year, I kid you not, we have this conversation. There's a group of us. Once the Gymkhana is over, there's a group of us that sit off and we say, not next year.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this next year. And then come Christmas time, and everyone's on board again.
Everyone's ready to refresh.
Because you're just tired from the day.
Yeah, we're tired of tired from the day.
That's
all it is.
But at the end, when you start reflecting on the smiles and the laughter and
let's do it again.
And then what the other thing is what you tend to see is interaction. Adults with police and children.
Yes, that's true.
You know, so once you start, and then you'll see somebody that you saw at the Gymkhana that probably never spoke to you before in their life come up. Hey, that was a good thing you guys done the other day. And, you know, my kid's been riding or wanting to do something different. Those are the type of things that will make you keep coming back. So
for sure.
One question before we wrap up. Has anyone been through the Gymkhana atmosphere as a young person and obviously coming to a police officer that you know of?
If I can, I'm sure, I believe. You might.
You're gonna call new names.
You just made it think.
Yeah, you made me think. I do believe 707. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See, you know. I'm gonna call his name, Colin Penker.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Colin Penker.
Right.
And I do believe that in the time going by, he participated in Gymkhana, and he's been a helpful hand now. Because he brings the police bikes over every Gymkhana, puts them on the stands. It's their early mornings. And again, here's another one. You don't even have to keep calling.
Right.
Everyone just picks up from the year before and just gets on with it.
Falls into line.
Gymkhana's coming around. Police week's coming around. You know, I remember I did this last year. So, Flip, you need a hand. Yes, this is what we need, and that's it. So, you know, we all do our part.
That's good. So you got a good team.
We do.
Well, keep up the good work, and of course, Bermuda, make your way to Peacefield this Saturday, 10 a.m. until, and be a part of the Gymkhana 2017. Any final comments, sir?
Well, just in case they haven't filled out any applications, you can go on the Bermuda Police website, www.bermudapolice.bm, or you can like us on our Facebook page, or you can go to the PMR at bps.bm and fill out the documentation, deliver it at Hamilton Police Station, the attention of myself or Sergeant Minus, 2088 Minus, who is also part of the committee. And we'll ensure that once you show up on the Friday evening between 4 and 6, you can come up to the police club and pick up your T-shirts for the volunteers as well as the participants can pick up their shirts. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sergeant Clifford.
Thank you.
Any final comments, Mr. Jason?
No, I'll just see everybody on Saturday.
No,
Yeah.
Thursday.
No. Listen, I do
You
my
started-
stuff.
I know you
I
started
do my
Thursday.
stuff, and they have stuff to do. I have stuff to do. We'll see each other,
On Saturday.
but we have work to do. So head down, do what you got to do.
Yeah. Again, thank you for coming on Inside Sports Talk. We wish you the best.
Thank you for having me.
And for the good talk this week.
Thank you.
Not a problem. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back after this.
You got me.
Yeah.
Oh, you can take this. Is the newsroom... Actually, can I keep this?
You can keep it.
Because I want to see if I get the newsroom come down
Because I'll be here to
Paramount Hamilton Princess.
tomorrow.
At 11 o'clock. And there's a good story.
What's that?
I want to see if we get the newsroom come down to Hamilton Princess.
Oh, okay.
I'll confirm for local budget.
I'm here tomorrow.
Winning worldwide popularity ever since. And now, RG is
Sure, I'm here tomorrow.
convenient and safe for beach and pool parties.
Sure, someone's on the radio tomorrow.
On the boat.
Yeah,
Why go place else?
It's the PR man and the chairman.
Home insurance policy with Colonial comes with a free
Yeah, I think anyone that comes in and speaks about policing. But it's only because he's Jim Collins.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's been, I think, how many phones did I
He's
get
got
today? Just two?
You need them?
No.
Got
my little book here.
Offer applies to new home insurance
Yeah.
policies and calling all players. What time is it? It's game time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
No worries, man. So good, man. So good. I was talking to him at the house and he said, yeah, I said, bring one.
Oh, okay.
So he looked up.
All right.
He finally did something right.
Yeah.
You tell him I said that.
I will do. No, let me go eat some lunch.
Come on, that, man.
We got a purchase order for some of the stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And it comes around, it's like I still gotta manage policing.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Cool.
All right.
You can hit the switch over and go.
All right, guys, have a good day.
Yeah, take care, Glenn. Let's close that. Thank you, bro. Kim Kelly was coming next week.
The 21st edition of the FIFA World Cup will be aired live on Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Be a part of the history. You don't want to miss FIFA World Cup 2018.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Basin.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Earl, it's been an interesting day thus far. From a local perspective, bodybuilding to tennis to Chicana, the police week happening next week. I just want to switch gears a bit. And I know we haven't discussed this in the commercial, we haven't discussed it all, but I was looking at North American sports this weekend, and I'm going to reflect on number 45. You know what number 45 is?
Yeah, man.
Okay, that's why I call him number 45.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure a lot of Americans are saying, can we just rub out 45 and go right to 46?
You're probably right. I didn't think about that. That's a good one.
Never let 45 be in your vocabulary ever again.
Ever, right? It don't exist.
Yeah.
But number 45, I've never in my young life witnessed a person of the highest honor to be involved in so many things in a nonchalant, arrogant, and my way only. And to get sports involved in politics is unheard of. And take it back, it's happened before, but to get the highest person of power and
You should be using the office to help
the country
Yes.
is getting involved in sports. And I won't be surprised, I was telling some people on the weekend, I won't be surprised that if the three major sports, Major League Baseball, the NFL, National Football League, and the NBA, National Basketball Association, the commissioners get together and do a joint statement or do a press conference of some sort.
Well,
Yes,
I know
they-
the NFL did release
Right,
one
they've
yesterday.
released their statements, but I'm saying do it jointly because this affects all of us.
Yeah.
And for the man to get on the radio, I'm sorry, television, and call him son of a bitch, right?
But
So what? Can we call him that too?
well,
I'm just going to be clear.
yeah,
So can
here
we call
lies the
number
problem.
45 son of a bitch?
Yeah, well, I mean, but he's done it, so
So I guess we can't. So
yeah.
number 45, you're son of a bitch.
But you know what the thing is, he's asked people to boycott.
Or be fired.
Yeah, asked for fire players for people to walk out. No, he wasn't clear whether they should walk out before, during, or after the national anthem. But now to see America not even divided, because I'm pretty sure there's more siding with players than they are with the president. But over your own national anthem. Now, the players have stood up or knelt down or taken a stance over an issue, which is police brutality and injustice, right? So if for some reason a player can't make a peaceful stand, just like someone in the public, when they have marches, they're peacefully marching with the right things going on. When they apply for a license to have a peaceful march, it's granted. They're allowed to march through the streets and so forth. To criticize someone for standing up for someone else or for standing up for their own beliefs, it's a bit harsh. And I believe this story is not over yet. And the sad part is, I see it getting worse before it gets better, because as he's shown throughout his short time thus far as being president, he continues to pick at things, and the hole gets wider and wider and wider. He made his statement on the floor of the UN, blasting North Korea, blasting Iran, and those two go back, and what they do, they both test missiles, because they're saying, you know what, you need to sort out your own house first,
Exactly.
before you come talk to us about what we're doing. And most Americans are being sidetracked with the devastation that's going on globally, whether it be the hurricane, whether it be the earthquake, and then you've got this issue that's going on in their country about people standing up for one another and themselves. Let alone what North Korea and Iran's doing.
Yeah.
It's you don't know, the emotions right now in America is running so high and on different wavelengths that it's scary to think what could happen next.
And you're so right, because you think about it, right? Where is his mind?
Does he have one?
That's a good point. Does he have one? That's a good question. I have to ask psychologist.
Well, I don't think there's anyone that will go anywhere with it.
Not alone anyway, right? Not alone. You're gonna need some witnesses, because he would say all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, you're right. He points or debs into everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then he wants the response that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are people that support him.
Yeah.
Right? There's a number of
And he was
what
in
percentage?
he was in the presence of the right crowd that night. He called them the names,
Right.
and he told them to fire.
Right. But the whole gamut, or the whole picture of it,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't favor that.
No.
And so, look at his supposed friend, Mr. Robert Kraft, the owner of the New
Mm-hmm,
Patriots.
mm-hmm.
He gave a statement, sent out a statement and said he does not condone that.
Yes.
He is not in favor of what number
Mhm.
45 said.
Mm-hmm.
And even the quarterback,
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, came out and said he doesn't support that at all.
Mhm,
He does not in the same page whatsoever. The gentleman from ESPN, he used to coach the Buffalo Bills last year, Rex Ryan.
Right.
He said on the show yesterday that he had to introduce number 45 as in Buffalo when he was making his rounds.
Oh, yes.
As a nominee, right?
Mhm.
And the fact is that he was asked by number 45 to introduce him.
Right.
So he said on the show, okay, I did that. Okay. that tells you where my loyalty lies.
Mm-hmm.
I do not support him whatsoever.
Right.
He says yes, he will stand up for the flag because his father was in the army. His father, that's where he's brought up on.
Right.
But he supports the locker room, black, white, pink, or yellow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And all walks of life. But he does not support what this man is saying.
If you understand the person that you're talking about, 45, you know he likes to distract and create havoc amongst people, and that allows him to get away with what he wants to get away with, and that is just creating havoc. And he's done that. He's done that in different circles. He's done it in different forms, and he just wants people to know that he's the big bad person in the room, regardless of who else is there, what the situation is. I mean, you know, when he first came into power, you had the riots in, I believe, Baltimore or Charleston, South Carolina, where they had the riots going on after the police had killed a young man.
Okay.
You know, then you had another group of people come out against those people, and he defended the second group. And, you know, at some point in time, you're either going to stand up and say, let's come together, or shut up. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You are the person that's supposed to be the peacemaker in all things, not divide people more than they've already been divided. You know, your job as the person in charge is to sit down with both sides and come up with a rational, reasonable understanding, so everybody ends up safe. In all sorts of things. Right now, he's created so much animosity that, you know, the United States is going to be back to the days of segregation very, very soon, soon. But the problem is, there's a lot of white people that don't want that because they've grown out of that, you know, or weren't around when that was around, and they have mixed friends. When I say mixed friends, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about, because the United States is made up of several races and cultures.
Sure.
You know, so who wants to be back in that way of life when we've all outgrown it? No, we don't want to forget what it's been like. You know, I can't speak for it because I wasn't around, but you hear, you read, you understand. But I honestly believe there are still people that want the country back to 1950.
I believe you're right.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson, again of ESPN, said eloquently yesterday, he said, quote, we're going back to slavery 400 years ago.
And that's the sad part about it, is that most Americans are fearing just that right now. They are fearing the divisiveness that he is creating with his tweets, with his speeches, and with every opportunity he has to blast anybody that disagrees with his view, when he should be saying, I hear you, I understand you, but I believe what I'm saying. Because there's a way to get your message across, not in the way in which he presents it. I mean, and sometimes it guaranteed, and we all have children, so if your child was to behave like that at an age, I don't care how old they get, the parents going to put them in place, because there's no way you're going to stand up and embarrass me like that. You know, and there lies the problem with him, is that he's been allowed to say and do whatever he wants leading up to the election, since the election, and it's dividing our nation, and others who would have supported it, they won't.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's why I call him number 45.
Yeah, well.
I noticed. And even LeBron today, when he was on the radio, he would not refer to him as the president. He said, that guy. Yesterday he referred to him as a bum in his tweet.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Steph
Curry.
Curry. And he was saying, you bum. He wasn't coming to the White House anyway.
Right.
And it was a privilege to attend the White House until you. And today, he was, just before I left, he that person. And yes, I think he might have even said 45 at once, but he would not acknowledge him and give him that title.
And a lot of people will start doing it.
Yes.
Lots of people, and the unfortunate thing is the actual position now starts to lose credibility
Yes.
amongst their own people.
Yes.
The world already looked and said that guy's great.
Yeah. Yes. And it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
There have been tourists that have come into Energize,
Mhm.
and I love watching MSNBC.
Right.
And they would come in and they look like, oh, please turn that off.
Him again.
And they're embarrassed.
Yeah.
They are
You would be.
embarrassed.
You would be.
Uh-huh.
The major problem. I mean, they only had what 46% of the country voted. So for those that didn't vote, and those that did and now are regretting it.
Yes. Oh, he talked about that too. You'll see that later on today. LeBron, he said, some of you may have voted, and it may have been a mistake. He says, I'm a parent, and sometimes, I have given my child Skittles, and later on thought, oh, well, maybe that wasn't such a good idea because now they can't go to sleep. So I understand.
Right.
However. And he went there, and now because of his lack of respect for the position and for anyone that
doesn't see his view,
people are now feeling free, or to speak to him in the same way in which he speaks.
And the problem is not the problem. No, it's number 45's problem now. He created this by attacking professional athletes, right? Who has nothing to do with politics. And so he goes after the three major sports in North America, right? I'm not to say how much know they are. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And then he called them SOBs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that is crazy. That makes no sense.
But he actually, in this one instance, he united.
Yeah, he brought them together.
Because
without a doubt. And that backfired in his case.
Yes.
He didn't expect that.
Right.
And on top of that, what united not just the players, but he got the owners and the players to unite.
Standing and locked arms and on knees. I have goosebumps every time. I have goosebumps all over my arms every time I think about it.
But you know what's funny? You know who you really thank for this whole thing?
Colin.
There you go.
Yes.
Colin Kaepernick last year. That's the man that started it all, right?
Yes. And people were not feeling that. There were a lot of people that
they didn't understand it, right?
Yes.
A guy on I was watching ESPN Morning, so the names called the three names. One of the third one, I can't remember his name. He's a quarterback, playing for the Seattle Seahawks. He retired. He's an analyst now for ESPN. He said on the show yesterday, he has a better understanding of it now as opposed to last year.
Yes.
And he said last year he didn't quite understand it.
You know why?
Right.
It was as simple as this. When Colin Kaepernick done what he done, nobody gave him the opportunity to explain what he was doing. They just said, "You're doing the wrong thing."
Right.
And every time he tried to explain why he was doing it, they shut it down.
Yeah, you're right.
So when he got a chance to be around other players and other professionals, and he got the opportunity to explain to them why he was doing it, more and more people started understanding.
Right.
So when people started seeing more guys doing it, they're like, okay, what's going on? So then you have to listen.
Yes.
And also, this is a common thing for the world, not just North America, the world. It didn't affect them last year.
Exactly.
It didn't affect them. So when number 45 called them an SOB, and said, tried to divide them with the players and the owners.
Right.
This is a $1 billion industry in the NFL.
And yes.
And
then he's telling the fans, you
walk
need to
out.
boycott it. So of course
the owners are
going to get involved. Like that's our bread and butter. Hey.
I gave you $1 million for your campaign, but you're trying to take $10 million from me. Oh no, that's not
right.
Because they're businessmen as well.
Right.
So
it's something else that I just learned yesterday. Up until 2009, the players stayed in the changing rooms during the national anthem. They were actually paid
to come out.
The teams were paid to come out because it looked better. The optics would look better. Like they seem more patriotic. So really, they don't have to.
No,
it's all written in the contract.
No. It's a signed contract.
Right, that they're supposed to be on the field.
Paid come out. But in all honesty, there's nothing in the U.S. Constitution that says you have to stand. It doesn't say you take your hat off, but it's just the people's right.
It's a patriot thing to do.
I went to school in Maine.
Right.
As a Bermuda, I'll be straight up. Did I stand at every national anthem? No. Did I take my hat off? Yes, but I didn't stand.
And I didn't put my hand on my heart. There were two other witnesses that didn't even stand. They were American.
Right.
So
that's one of those things. But anyway, I'm just going on. This
It is.
number
It is.
45. You just stop.
I know.
I will call in number 45 to go and call to trust me. I will do that. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we have April Charlotte Shield on this in the studio.
Sports Talk Radio
When I heard you guys, I was like, oh yeah, of course. Please don't stop me now. Don't stop me now. Yeah, because I tried to leave it at 2:30, but I left.
It's time to be insured and be prepared. A new home insurance policy.
Now, you have mentioned talking about different stretches. So I
Yeah.
can either talk about that
Yeah.
or I can talk about
You're talking about your
either that or next week I can talk about some tips for mindful eating. I have a whole bunch.
You can do tips of my week next week.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We can do the stretching.
Now the stretching, because I was gonna wear like one of my workout outfits so I can actually show, but I've like had 3 workouts today, so I've gone through both. I mean all 3 of my outfits. No, because I ran in to work out myself, and then I started a new class with the seniors today called Calypso Rose, so I worked up a sweat. But then Zumba, she had some people in, and was like, man, this music is really good, it's really hot, so then I did it again. So I've had 3 showers.
She was a Patrick primary up there.
Yes.
I saw
Oh
it. I
yeah,
saw
they
it.
were all
I saw the
sweaty.
Facebook.
So I turned
Yeah.
around and said, you tired? I'm like, yeah. Okay. But I did get one negative comment. I needed it. Because there was one little girl, she was just the whole time, but all the rest, they were coming together. Well, one lady said, oh, such and such, did you see your daughter? And she was just standing there, she wasn't budging. Because children, they take a while to warm up sometimes. And so the mother comes on and writes, oh, yes, I spoke to her, and she said she wasn't impressed. And she could see the Really?
2018. Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports
Stressed
Talk
me.
Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Mason. This segment of Inside Sports Talk Radio, Health and Wellness, is presented by Energize Wellness Solutions.
And welcome back. It's that time. Charles Shield, Energize Wellness Solutions. I think one topic she's going to talk about today is one of my favorites, and the others, and that's stretching. I don't like to stretch. I think it's a waste until it all happens when I get the cramp and I'm kicking up to myself. It's very important for us to stretch.
Yes.
So much so that I still do. But explain to our listeners how important it is, what's the advantage of stretching?
Well, once your body has warmed up and you've had your workout, it's really good to stretch the muscles. It actually helps to have a longer, a wider range of motion when you work out the next time. It also helps to cut down on a lot of the cramping that you get. You know how you get that charge horse in the middle of the night?
Mm-hmm.
But if you'd actually stretch it
Oh, well, we all know.
yes! When you have to jump straight up out of the bed.
Sure.
And that pain. Yeah, so you're helping your body to cool down. You are stretching the muscle, and it's kind of, I think of it as like a massage to your muscles. So Earl, you asked last week if I can give you some stretches from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one, when you finish, I would say, turn your head from side to side,
Right.
and up and down, especially if you're doing shrugs or anything that involves your shoulders. Right. So do that a few times. From there, you can roll your shoulders forwards and backwards. You can also take your arm, put it right across your body, and take the other arm and you're pulling forwards. That's helping to stretch the deltoids. So stretching all of the shoulder, the arm muscle, and you do both sides. Yeah. See, because your arm is hardly moving. It's hardly stretching because you don't stretch. You don't want to be the Tin Man. You gotta stretch out.
Yes, sir.
And if you have a workout partner, what you can do is take turns and you put your hands behind your back and then let them go behind you and pull your hands.
Let your weight go forward?
Yes, let your weight forward and your chest out and let them pull your arms in back of you together. Now, if you're flexible, your arms won't just go here, but they will cross.
Right.
So you can cross them if you're flexible. If you're not, like Ian, then you just try to get it, just back.
Yeah.
And that helps to stretch you. And also, when you have your chest out, it's helping to stretch your chest as well as your arms. And if you don't have a training partner, then you can take your arm, like how I have it up
On the
against
door.
the wall,
On
on
the
the
door,
door, and just put it up against the wall, and then turn your body, and it stretches
Right.
the whole arm, and you do both sides. For a waist stretch, because you're usually working your abs, no session. What you can do is, I'll try to talk through it.
Yeah.
If you can stand with your feet together,
Right.
and put one hand on the wall,
Right.
and then take the opposite arm and stretch it over, and you can feel the stretch all up your side, and it feels really good.
Okay.
And then do the other side as well.
Right.
For your back, what I like to do sometimes is I bend, and then I go down, put my head down, and hug my knees.
Okay.
And I pull my head and my back in, and whenever I do that, my back opens. So it pops. And I love that. Or what you can do is actually just get on the floor, push your knees, hold your knees in, put your head to your knees, and then let go. But as you're laying on your back and you have your knees in, just kind of do a little rock, and that massages your lower back.
Okay.
Yeah, and I normally would do that stretch after, like, at the end of my class, I actually have a yoga cool down stretch. So I have them lay on their backs and then hold up one knee, put it into their chest.
Right.
And the other leg is straight. And while you're doing that, you're actually, when you're pulling, it's stretching your hamstring.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And so from here, you take your knee, move it across your body.
Right.
So you're tilting to the side, it's opening up your back, and then you take the opposite hand and put it on the floor and look towards your hand. So that really, it deepens the stretch, it opens up your back even more, and do it on the other side. Well, once I've done that stretch, my back feels like it's so open, I need to kind of get it together, so then that's when I go to this stretch with both knees in, and then rock, back and forth. From there, I would normally go on my stomach, and this is a good stretch for your back as well as for your abs. We call it cobra, where you're laying on your belly and your elbows are down, but then you kind of push. Like, you could go onto your elbows or right onto your hands, where you're like this, and you look like a snake.
Right.
So as you're going up like that, you feel all of the abdominal muscles stretch. So you can look straight, then go up and straight, and then also take your time and gently look over one shoulder and then the other shoulder, and you feel that stretch. So from there, I normally go on my knees and go back. It's called child's pose. So you have your feet together, your knees are apart, and you, like how babies go down and they have their heads on your forehead on the floor, and your butt, you're trying to get it down as low as possible,
onto your heels.
Onto your heels. And when you're pulling, you stretch your arms forward. It's stretching your shoulders. It's stretching your back, because all of those, all of the back exercises that you do, and you can feel that stretch. And then from there, I usually like to go into what we call a cat's pose. So you go back on all fours, and then you tuck your chin, you tuck your butt under, and it kind of looks like the letter N, but it really does look like a cat stretch. So your hands and your knees right here. You tuck your butt, tuck your chin, and it looks like a cat stretching, or an upside down C. So that is stretching your back.
Okay.
And from there, if you can go into a tabletop, make yourself look like a tabletop, and then you can have your head and your butt up in the air, and then tuck your butt and your chin again to that cat pose. So I like to do that, and then from there, I would normally go into a runner's lunge. So you're on all fours, you take one foot and put it in front, and you lean forwards and put your hands on the ground.
Okay.
So it's a runner's lunge, but I haven't taken my knee up off of the ground yet.
So you're stretching.
But and stretching your hamstrings. You also get a quad
Quad
stretch
stretch,
with
right.
the other leg.
Right.
And to increase that quad stretch, take your knee up so that the back leg is straight
Mm-hmm.
and it's off of the ground, just the toe tip is there. And then you're in a lunge and your hands are there. To deepen that stretch, the inside hand, no balance.
Right.
You're straight ahead,
Right.
and then you're holding on one side.
Mhm.
You're in that lunge. And then from there, and then you put both hands down on the floor. And then, see if I can talk my way through it here. I usually say bring that back leg in,
Right.
push your hips out,
Uh,
and your butt back, and maybe
Stretch your
stretch, then you're stretching your
Mhm.
hamstrings
Hamstrings,
again.
right.
And then you turn and go right to the other
Right.
side. To do your calves,
Mhm.
you can go up against the wall and you're in a lunge position, and
Right.
you put one foot back, and as you're putting it back, it's actually stretching your calf.
Right.
And then you switch up. But
Right.
you can also do a yoga position called downward dog while you're still down there, and that's when your hands are on the floor.
Mhm.
You're like in an upside V.
Right. Right.
So your head is down
Right.
between your arms, and your butt's up in the air, and your legs in the back, and then what we say, just pedal it out.
But do you start with your heels on the ground?
If you can.
Right.
And if it is too much of a stretch, just pedal your feet.
Right.
Just go like
Yeah.
that, and you'll feel that all in your calves. Yeah, so those are some of the stretches I do. Also for your inner thighs, you can stand up and then just kind of lunge to the side.
Right.
And if you stick your butt out and just put your hands above your knee on one side, then you can feel the stretch in your inner thigh.
Right.
And then you go to the other side.
Now, let me ask you this question. For someone who works all day,
right,
but doesn't have a chance to go to the gym or doesn't work out, what are some of the stretches they can do to relax before going to bed? Because everybody's stressed.
Actually, those yoga stretches, you can start with what do they call it? Warrior poses.
Okay.
It looks like a lunge, kind of. You're here, and you go here, and you're balancing. Sorry, you go
right.
And then you switch arms.
Okay.
You can go down and go into a plank position. You can go from there to the downward dog. And I've actually used those yoga poses first thing in the morning as well as at the end of the evening.
Right.
And it really, in the morning, it helps to rejuvenate you, and in the evening, for some reason, it relaxes you, especially the downward dog. Your head's down, and your butt's up, and your legs, and you hold it for a bit. Child's pose, that's a really good relaxing one. Where your forehead is on the mat, your arms are outstretched, and you're trying to get your butt down as close to your calves and your knees as possible.
Right.
Not a lot of people are that flexible, but even if your butt is up in the air, it's still a relaxing position, and just breathe deeply in and out, and that really relaxes. So just laying straight on your back. Yes, and everyone likes when we do that, because after the workout there, I'm like, okay, now just relax and close your eyes. And just listen to my voice and just lay there. And even in yoga, you don't want to get up afterwards.
Right.
So that helps you to relax. And if you just really concentrate on breathing in, and as the air is oxygen going through your body, and think of the different body parts where it's going down, just a mental imagery, and that helps to relax you as well. But I do admit, know, if it's not an organized cool down, or it is a pain in the butt. You've gotten your workout done. You now want to shower, and you want to go to the next.
Yeah, get your day started or end it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What methods or what treatments would you advise people who constantly get cramp? I know water's one of the things that you got to take a lot of, but once it comes on, what are some of the things you need to do? Because when I see people with cramp, I try to put myself in their position. Because the first thing I do is I tell myself, you've got to calm down. Because instantly you panic.
Right.
And your body overheats, you start sweating because you're trying to get out of the bed, or you're trying to get from wherever you are to stand up straight. But if there's got to be a way to overcome that, because if you're not careful, your whole body could lock up.
Right. You know, one of the things I found that prevents that for me, because I love to just lay there and stretch, but I find when I stretch my legs and I point my toes, then it'll start to cramp up. So when I stretch now, I flex my foot instead.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, it stops the cramping. The other thing I've done is put my feet on the cold floor.
Oh, yes.
No socks.
Tile.
That seems to, tile or wood floor, and that seems to help it.
If you got it in your calf. If you got it in your thigh or your hamstring.
Yes, I've had to have that massaged out. And it's like, oh my gosh, don't touch it, and you gotta work out, but it's terrible. And sometimes that's because you may need some electrolytes, you may need some salt. They say you shouldn't have a lot of salt, but sometimes when you are sweating a lot, like what happened,
salt comes out.
Right, with Melton during the middle to end. So sometimes. If I have one of those days like today, where I was just really sweaty, had 3 workouts, I would eat a package of ramen noodles. And that is full of sodium, right? But I need it because I've had 3 workouts. I've been soaking wet, I've been drenched 3 times. So you help to replenish your body, and then that helps the locking up as well.
And one thing I noticed, especially in this past summer, a lot of people don't realize how much they have been perspiring because it's so hot outside. And then they'll go into a building and cool off and then go back out. Your body still hasn't adjusted to it. So at the end of the day, you've actually lost more water than you realize what you've lost, and you don't put it back in. So.
And so that's why I carry my water. I mean, every time I get in the car, I have my water bottle. Even if I'm just going down to the grocery store, I don't know what it is that I think that, oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck somewhere without any water.
Hey, there's a possibility.
Exactly. So I just like having it. And it's something because as soon as the children get in the car, the first thing they ask for besides food is water. Because they know I always have water in my bag. So, yeah.
Well, I've got some stretches to do tonight.
Yes.
There's too many for me to do.
No. I know the ones I need. Trust me.
I'm talking about for me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know the ones I need.
Right. But if you they have like yoga books or yoga CDs, because I'm one that a lot of times doesn't like to do more than 30 minutes of a video or whatever. But I've gotten those 15 minutes before bedtime, and if you can do like a little routine where 1 minute goes into the next, that really helps because then you're not thinking about it. You're just and you're working every part of your body.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, YouTube.
Yes, YouTube nowadays.
Well, I want to thank you once again for enlightening us on stretching. Well, not only stretching, but the importance of
the importance of stretching. Why stretching?
Healthy eating.
Yes.
Living right. Well, not living right, but because but also the stretching part. It's for me. I asked that because I have a problem with cramping. So and I know I'm not the only one. And Ian works out a lot, so I know.
So I know he gets it. But as we get older, it really is important for you to work on your flexibility. Because you don't want
look to your left.
when you fall and you start really having these injuries.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you've got to do it. But I'm glad you mentioned about taking care of yourself. I was at Paget Primary, their assembly on Friday, and apparently they've been talking about wellness for a while. So when my bio was read out, and it had different ages, and had children, and I did this and I did that. So I gave them a little workout, and at the end, I said, so how old do you think I am? But it was obvious that they had been listening because the first person said 54, and I said, you're close. And finally someone gets 51. So someone says, wow, but you look like you're in your 30s. I said, I get that a lot. So then a teacher said, now you heard that. That's very important. I said, well, because I exercise, because I do drink a lot of water, I try to eat healthy, although I eat those foods, and people one of the teachers wanted to know, what do you eat? I said, eat those things, but I have it in small portions. So it does it is important how you take care of yourself now. You know,
Sure.
how well you fare later on. It doesn't mean that you'll never get cancer or whatever. However, usually the prognosis is better. You
Right.
have to,
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for another edition of Energize Wellness. And we'll see you again next week, Monday.
Yes.
We'll be in October there, won't we?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. One bites the dust. But we'll be back after these messages from our sponsors.
Inside Sports Talk Radio, help.
All right, I'll try stretching tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, just for a few minutes. It
That's
doesn't have
all
to be
good.
long.
There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
5 minutes.
You know the ball that you can roll on now?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Windows Group of Companies, Game Time, and Energize Wellness Solutions. Will return after
I'll try.
Well, that's
Depends
like
on-
starting up. Yeah, because a lot of times I just want to get started, but now I know. Just keep your 5 minutes on the elliptical.
findings underline the health benefits of the oily fish.
All right, sister. Cool.
Okay,
See you next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
let's see what finds
aiming to remind
Next week's about food, right?
Yeah.
This month we're
But
featuring
I'm
bell
talking about
sardines and extra virgin
your
olive oil and spring
Oh.
water.
Because in 1 week,
Tomato
I'm
and
sure
so
lemon
much
we
can
have
happen
some-
in a week.
tune in
Probably
with
they'll
extra
probably
virgin
get
olive oil
more.
of
Hmm.
Isn't that what actually
Vintage.
what I
Find
got?
anyplace else.
Calling all players. What time is it? It's game time.
Yeah.
Shine and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more. Weekly promotions, instant win games, be a lucky loser with our weekly draw. Become a game time player. Call into one of our 3 locations in Somerset, Town, or St. George's. For more details, visit gametime.pm or call 296-3222. Game time.
Lady called just now and said she went to she just came back from Wayne, the local chick, and she drove through a Ku Klux Klan rally.
Wow.
Yeah, she said, I did it one time by mistake too when I was in school in Charlotte. We originally ran it, I was going to Spartanburg, and yeah, you can radiate the road pretty
Wow.
much.
Oh, and the whites.
Yeah, and the hats and the red crosses and all kinds of stuff. My girl's like,
Get me out of here.
yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First edition of the FIFA World Cup will be aired live on Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Be a part of the history. You don't want to miss FIFA World Cup 2018.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beeston.
I want to thank April for giving us enlightenment regarding the importance of stretching. And you're right, I as much training I do, I like to stretch. And it's also been an injury, and I should be doing that. So I will be more aware of it. When I make an effort tomorrow morning, yeah, I'll make an effort.
Mm-hmm.
Will I put in the time that she shows demonstrations? No.
Mm-hmm.
But I will make a start. That's the best thing I would say.
Well, I mean, I think you got to start somewhere. So
Yeah.
I've got to try and figure out my end of the night stretching too, because it's getting to a point where as you get older, you start to feel those wounds that you didn't feel years ago when you was younger, and you recovered a lot quicker. So, we'll get to it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for, again, hosting the Inside Sports Talk Radio today. And I'm sure there's some things like that next week. So, Don Bassett, thank you for taking care of the
Thank
controls
you, sir.
again.
Thank you. Anytime, any place. I'm there for you.
All right.
All right.
And thank our guests for joining us today. Peter Bodybuilding Federation President Mark Simons, Michael Wolf, and Ricky Mallory of the
Lawn Tennis
Lawn
Association.
Tennis Association. And then
Clifford Roberts.
Clifford Roberts, Sergeant Clifford Roberts, of the Police Service, as the annual Jim Conner, that's in the way he's been chairman of that committee since 2007, so 10 years this year. They've been on the federal showcase. This Saturday. That's all the time we have. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. My Liverpool team won on Saturday. Finally won a game after 4 games. So,
What about your Somerset team? You
how much?
No, your football team.
We're in trouble.
You played 3 games.
You lost over 3.
Well, you didn't lose yet.
No.
But you ain't scored.
Oh,
You ain't scored a goal
you know
yet.
what it sound like? That sound like Crystal Palace.
What?
That's sad, isn't it? Oh, man. I got to put my boots on. What you think?
Somebody better put their boots on.
Well, my boots are hiking boots.
Okay. Well, they'll probably work for some of the Trojans right now.
Who lost the school in that game?
0-0 with Young Winston Chicago. It's after back-to-back. Oh, they improved because they didn't give up 4. So there's improvement. Just like I said to you in Liverpool Laws, what was it? 4-0, 5-0?
5.
Yeah. You got to make improvements. So someone's made an improvement.
Maybe a few points there.
Hey, one's better than none.
That's true. Cool. Talk to you later.
Alrighty.
That's all the time we have.